let's talk about transposing music. So, simply put, transposing is where you take a piece of music from one key and put it into a different key. That's it. I'm going to talk about why we might want to do that. I'm going to talk about some things you kind of ought to understand before you get into it. Then actually talk about how to do it specifically on guitar. On screen now are the times at which I'm going to talk about those things in this video. If you feel like you want to skip ahead to any one of them, please, I invite you to do that now. As ever, if you're not subscribed to this channel, then you absolutely should be. If you're into guitar stuff, especially theory, music tech, and production, subscribe, or just nowhere else, actually, just subscribe. So why do we transpose music at all? What's it for? Basically, it's for variation. If you find that you're always writing music in E minor, or that a lot of your songs sound the same, like a lot of young guitarists do, just pick another key completely at random and transpose your song into that new key. Having songs in different keys is a really easy way to add variation to your compositions, and having a varied catalogue of compositions is really important in the long run. If you've ever found that one of your songs really sounds like a really popular song, then transposition is one of the ways you can get around it and make it sound less like a popular song. I'm not saying that you should use transposition to rip off popular music, only that you could. Lastly, if you want to play in any jam clubs, and I suggest you should to get good at playing with musicians, if you ever want to play in any jam clubs, you're not only going to need to know a whole load of standards in whatever style, blues, jazz, rock, whatever. You're not only going to have to know a load of standards, you're going to have to know how to play those standards in any given key. Some instruments just can't play in certain keys, and as a guitarist, you're expected to be flexible. You're the one that has to adapt. Yeah? Being a guitarist and not being able to play in a different key is just unheard of. It's required, okay? You need to be able to do this. And you need to be able to do it really quickly as well. So that's some of the why. Now on to prerequisites. So I'm not saying you need all of this stuff, only that you might struggle without it, and this is going to help you actually implement transposing. First thing, TTS, TTTS. How far apart notes are in a scale, and therefore how far apart the chords are. You don't necessarily need this to understand how transposition works, but you certainly need it to implement transposition and start transposing music. Same with the order of major and minor chords as they appear within a scale. Well, I guess I could just say it now. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. If I've confused you, then buckle in, buddy, or just memorize this. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Remember that. Relative major and minor scales. Transposing is a lot easier when you think of it in reference to the major scale. So I'm not going to be talking about E minor, I'm going to be talking about G major. Yeah? You need to know what a half and whole tone are. You need to know how sharps and flats work and which notes don't have them. Lastly, you need to know how to work out what key your song is in. Cool. So, transposing. The easiest way to transpose on guitar is to use a capo. Or capo if you like mispronouncing things. Or you could down tune as well. That's another option. Simply put, if you're playing something in C major and you put a capo on the first fret, then the thing you are now playing is in C sharp major. It goes up by that many semitones. Likewise, if you were playing in B major and you down-tuned your guitar a whole tone, your song would now be in A major, right? On guitar, it's super easy to transpose as well. If you're in, let's say, A major and you're doing something entirely in bar chords and you want to go down to G major, you just shift everything you're playing down a whole step. right? Really easy on guitar for bar chords. But what if you're not using bar chords? What if you're using open chords? What if you're in the open position? Well, then we have something called the Nashville Numbering System, which is super helpful. The Nashville Numbering System is a standardized way of transposing music used by musicians worldwide, so it's good to know, basically. Simply put, you swap out chords for Roman numerals. Uppercase indicating major, lowercase indicating minor. Let's say this is the chord progression we want to transpose. It's in C major. Let's say we want it to be in D major. So our chords are G, F, D minor, and C. The first thing we want to do is write out the entire scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And above that, we're going to put a Roman numeral to indicate which chord it is. So C is the 1, D minor is the 2, E minor is the 3. And we've also got the chord characters there. You may remember major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Notice how the minor chords are shown with lowercase numerals and the major chords have got the uppercase numerals. Now I want to put this song in D major. We don't even need to know the D major scale, we just need to know how far apart our two root notes are. So C and D are a whole tone apart. So we just need to put every note in our C major scale up a whole tone. Easy. Notice how the chord characters stay where they are, the minors are still minor and the diminished is still diminished. Now that we have the entire D major scale in front of us, we just need to work out which chords we actually need for our progression. So to remind you, our original chords were G, F, D minor, and C. So referring to our chart, G is the 5 and is going to be replaced with an A, because A is the 5 in D major. F was the 4, so is now going to be a G. D minor is now E minor. C is now D. So our new progression, which was G, F, D minor, C, is now A, G, E minor, D. Well done, you've just transposed your first chord progression. That's pretty much all there is to it. Here's a really handy tip, just by the way. When you're writing a song, once you know what key you're in, write out all the other chords that are available to you. That's really useful should you ever get stuck, just so you know what your options are, and having them right there is really helpful. That's all I really have to say. Do feel free to leave any questions in the comments section below. That's what it's for. Also, if you want to request any other video subjects. If you want to press the like button, the little thumbs up, that would really help out actually for some reason. I think it makes YouTube think my videos are better, so like please. I know you're already subscribed, so I don't need to say anything in reference to that, and I will see you later. Goodbye.